Hi Poopsies, it's been a while since we hung out on this vlog channel. I've just been busy like doing stuff around the house. We just recently had a hurricane pass by. It was a category 4 when it hit, and didn't hit us directly, thank God, but we felt the effects. Our area was supposed to get 3 to 5 foot storm surge. A lot of the roads were flooded, but thankfully this area was fine. So we were spared. But yeah, I had to take time to like take everything down from the backyard, the front yard, and then put it all back together, ordering new furniture, throwing out old furniture. Like, it's just been a minute. So I do want to show you, give you a tour of what new stuff I have in my backyard, and I think you might like it. It's changed up quite a bit since you last saw it. There's some noticeable differences, but I think it's all done for now, for the time being. I'm pretty satisfied for now. I think I'm done shopping for quite a long time. So let me show you around, and gosh, it's very hot outside. So first of all, I want to show you my new slippers. I got a couple new slippers. These blue ones, I think they're pretty big. It came in size 8 to 9, which I am. I'm anywhere between 8 and 10, but mostly 9, it just depends. But that's kind of large, don't you think? But I love the straps there and the color. I don't have any sandals of that color yet. And then the black ones. So these were very similar to other ones I had, so. Oh, I didn't even notice my bird was here. What you doing? Why you belly flopping on the floor? She has a particular habit of liking to belly flop on the floor for some reason. So this whole entire area had water come in from the storm, so I had to like clean this little tabletop cloth thing. Ugh, I had to clean everything out, and I even had to take out the cushion to dry it. As you can see, it's drying there. We had to take out the gazebo cover because of the winds, but I ended up deciding, oh, hold on, let me go outside. Deciding to put the bell to hang here because it has a hook, and I thought that would be a perfect spot. And nothing new much with the plants, just the zinnias have been growing a bit, but just all of this died down. I have to literally work on putting that together. So I just installed this. I just got this today. So this is actually what's called Ipanema. It's in the World Market. And it's this metal furniture that's weatherproof. And I thought this would be perfect here because I don't have any shade or umbrella. In the future, I do plan to put like a big gazebo over this just to cover the whole area. Nothing survived. None of my carrots grew, nothing. So it's just been too hot. So it's coming together, but as you can see, I put the cushion out there to dry over the gazebo because, yeah, the storm was bad. This potted plant, I plan to put something in. The rosemary bush is growing quite big. The lawn chair used to be here, but it actually broke. I sat and fell through it. Sat on it and fell through it. So, yeah, it's a goner. Had to throw it out. And so along with that other table I threw out, they used to be here. So it's a nice new set. I also got a bird bath. Fill it with fresh water every day. It's pretty sturdy, and it was the best one I could find, honestly, for a good deal. So, I love a good deal. That light's still there. And I got 2 new lawn chairs, and then I got a fire pit. I already used it. It's wonderful. This used to hang out that table on the patio over there. I moved it here, in case someone wants to put their drinks while they're sitting out here. This was the chair from the old table I threw out, and that's the chair that's also both World Market set. But one of the chairs broke, so I only have this one left. So I thought a circle of 4 seating here would be wonderful. I would show you this, but it's kind of annoying to take off and put back on. But it is like a very beautiful color. I already tried it. Like I said, I used a fire starter, and it just works beautifully, but I do have to protect it from the deadly heat. So Yeah, it's all coming together now. I think it's starting to really look wonderful. I thought the blue would match well with the red, and blue and pink, which is the tiles, pretty well matches. So I don't know. I have to say that it is coming together quite incredibly, in my honest opinion. What do you think with this furniture? You know, everything's come together quite nicely, I think, and that's typically what a backyard should look like. So I think I'm finally content. It took me kind of a long time to really be content, but I think this is more than enough for the time being. It's nothing special, like I said, or extraordinary, but more than enough for the time being. And actually, if I add the space indoors with the space outdoors, counting the tiles and stuff, it's more than 3,000 square feet. So I think that's more than enough. I don't need to overdo it anymore. It would be nice to have like a pool eventually, but we'll see how that goes. I just kind of want to set it up the way I want to set it up, and then it's gonna work itself out. But that's that. I think it's good. I'm good on furniture. I'm like looking around, I'm like, yeah, no more furniture for the time being, literally. It's good. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, what I've been doing. It's all good. And I also want to properly take the time now to really, pray for everyone that was affected by Hurricane Idalia, because that was something else. Like, we felt it pretty bad when we just got the tail of it coming through. And then as it was passing, it was like 200 miles away. We still felt like a lot of the wind and the rain. So could you imagine the eye of the storm, how powerful this was? So I was just in the Big Bend. They call it like the armpit of Florida because it curves like this. But earlier this year, I went from Panama City all the way I did that whole drive, and I drove like the road closer to the water, and then I saw that little island out there in the middle of the bend. I forgot what it's called, Cape, something like that. It's a cute little town, and it just got devastated with 10-foot waters. And I've been praying nonstop, like every night. Like I pretty much pray every night now, and just thinking about everyone affected, because Hurricane Ian last year, looking back 11 months ago, was just awful and devastating, and how long it took people. Like there's now people still either still waiting on their roofs or just getting done all the construction they have to do on their homes. And it just took such a long time. And I can't imagine how long it's going to take them now, And I think this is probably going to make the insurance go up even more now, to the point where I think pretty soon we might even become uninsurable. And that concerns me, knowing that a lot of us have to eventually leave this state, because it's going to become extremely unaffordable, but also unlivable, if this keeps occurring. And a lot of people are downplaying it too. I'm like, don't downplay this. Like, this is not something to shrug off or downplay or say it wasn't as big of a deal as they made it seem. Yeah, you try having a 12-foot wave come at your house. Good luck dealing with that. I'll build it on stilts. Do you know how many homes got damaged that were on stilts? In fact, like most all the homes were horribly damaged, the ones who were on stilts, because you don't have a steady foundation. Your house is shaking, moving left and right, and it'll just, the higher you are, it'll just rip your roof right off. And that's what happened, not only to my next door neighbors, pretty much everyone who had stilt homes, because we were all a direct hit a year ago. But anyway, happy September, poopsies. My hand is shaking because I'm just aggravated at people downplaying hurricanes like, oh, it's not a big deal. It will be when it hurts your wallet, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's the same people who don't live in Florida, who never even step foot in Florida, who downplay it. And if they do, well, they shouldn't be downplaying it because they probably never been through a Cat 4 or 5. Anyway, so, yeah, I feel really bad for those people because that was such a beautiful little town. And now it's like gone. It's like it's not even the same, you know. A lot of these little roads here were flooded too. Gas was hard to find. It was just a lot. I had to move out a lot of stuff, put it back in. I'm just really thankful. The water was sitting just outside, actually. I think it now, as of, yeah, there's still a little bit of water left. Oh, sorry, that was really close angle. It's hard to see from here, but there's just like a little bit of water still sitting out in the grass. And it always gets kind of flooded. Even my other property next door tends to get a lot of shallow water. That's normal with just like typical rain, but it's going down finally. Like it took like this is like day 3 or 4 now that it's going down, and it's finally going down. And I'm like, whoa, that was a lot of water. I think we got 2 to 3 inches, but like if you look at the water, it looks like 6. Like it was a lot. I think it was more closer to 6, to be honest. But I also am, as you probably know, very close to sea level. Yeah, so it's not cute, all right? So, yeah. Or the same people downplaying it don't live close to sea level, you know? So, yeah, don't downplay this, because that could be your family, that could be your friend, you know, that was impacted. I see they're already setting up donations like they did with Ian. I'm glad they're quick to do that and quick to get help. I hope those areas get power restored soon. If you were affected, please let me know. Share in the comments your story, how this experience was like. And people there haven't had a storm like this since the 1800s, literally. So they're not used to, even generationally, like they don't have that grandmother, great-grandmother alive anymore to tell them, hey, this is how to survive this. No one knew. No one could have even imagined this was coming in that area. You know, they always say like, oh, it's going to hit like Sarasota, Bradenton, and then like Tampa, and then, oh, oops, you know, the same thing happened at the end. They didn't know exactly where, and then oops, you know, so you always should stay prepared. You know, I've been keeping an eye on this ever since it was just a yellow X on the map, you know, less than 40% chance of developing. And when I saw it south of Mexico, and then they showed that it was going to jump over Mexico into the Gulf and into our area, I knew. I was like, it's time to get ready. Filled gas, got water, food, etc. So be prepared. Don't wait till last minute. Hurricane season is not over. Ian hit September 28th. Yes, very close to October. So be prepared through the whole season, even into October, even through until November 1st hits. You better be prepared, honey. All right. So I'm talking from Texas to Virginia. All right. That whole area, because that's where you tell even the whole states, you know, California, Asia, they get typhoons. New York, they get them too. All right. You know, they always get the after effects too. When a big strong hurricane comes through, it whiplashes them as well. Don't think that just because it's in Florida, it's always Florida. You know, sometimes the winds are much worse as it speeds up and pushes through. And those areas, Carolinas, Virginias, New York, they're not used to that kind of wind and rain either. So that the homes are not built for that, you see. I already see a neighbor, their shingles starting to peel off, you know. This was a lot of wind and rain, you know, and every time I talk to someone about this stuff, they're always like, oh, it's just the same amount of rain. It was just another storm. Is it okay? Okay. I talked to people whose stuff literally went down the street. This is not something to laugh at, mock at, joke, fun. This is serious, all right? And I never seen this many constantly. When I was a kid, it was always like once in a 5-10 year event, like Hurricane Charlie. We had to escape Charlie, we had to escape Wilma. I had to escape personally in Bradenton when I lived there in 2017, Irma. And it's funny, it's like always the I storms. Irma, Ian, Idalia. Weird, right? Anyway, and not to mention numerous Hurricane Cat 1, 2, tropical storms, depressions while living here. And I lost count how many in the last almost 6 years living here. So crazy. But yeah, you get through it. It's just a pain to have to like take all the stuff from outside inside. And people don't even bother doing that. I'm like, you work hard and pay for all your stuff. You better haul that crap back in your home, in your garage, in your patio. Find a way, you know, because what if that projectile hits your window or breaks your screen? You know, it's just like, at this point after Ian, I'm always like, even though I'm not a prepper anymore, I'm always prepared, right? I'm still technically am, like I'm not irresponsible, you know, because no one helped us, no one helped me during Ian. Did I get a single donation during Ian? No. I didn't ask for it, you know, but no one's gonna look out for you unless you look out for yourself first, you know? Even the insurance was very slow to pay. So, you know, no fault of their own. God bless them. You know, they did pay eventually, but I understand they had a lot of people on waiting lists. But man, that was hell to live without like security, knowing that, you know, you don't have the shingles and you have to cover them. And it's like, what if another hurricane comes and rips that off and, you know, you get flooding? I had my same spot in my roof flood 6 times, I think, 5 or 6 times. And I had to keep coming back and repairing it and trying to find a solution where the water's coming from. And I think they finally fixed it because I didn't get a single drop of leak this time around with this hurricane. So I think it's good now officially. But that took 11 months on and off of just leaks and, you know, trying to figure out where it's coming from and worrying if your roof's going to cave in or, you know, your ceiling. Oh, it's just a pain in the butt. So it's quite a headache. And, you know, that's the unenjoyable part, if that's even a word, unenjoyable part of homeownership, especially in Florida, to the point where it's just getting affordable for rich retirees. I mean, let's be real, you know. So many people my age are moving back in with their families and stuff. And yeah, I've thought of selling, you know, moving somewhere much smaller, cozier, you know, and then I could just sort of take it easy from there. But I'm not giving up. I think my feeling, at least my intuition, is like, I don't have to go yet, you know. And the odds of another storm like that hitting the same spot again is very minimal, but I'm not denying that it could be a possibility. So, you know, because you could screw yourself hard if you stay during something like that and it actually happens. And yeah, so also make sure you guys take pictures of everything you own. Email it to yourself in several accounts, okay? And keep copies of your insurance with you, all right? And have them in different locations, all right? Security, safety deposit box, a storage unit, your family's home, you know, email those documents to yourself. Because the first ones who have a copy always get their payouts. You know, I've noticed the people who are quick to jump on and call the insurance, even with those 3-4 hour waiting periods, quick to email, quick to, you know, send those files, were the ones who got paid first. So just a bit of advice from experience. And please make sure you have insurance to begin with, and that if they bounce, that you secure yourself another insurance fast, all right? Because when I switched, when they bounced, they could no longer afford to be in Florida, or they thought it was, you know, risk assessment too risky. You have to ensure that you get another one ASAP, okay? Because what if another hurricane comes while you're in the midst of getting another one, you know, and they drop out? So, yeah. But overall, I like living in Florida. I feel safe here. You know, I don't like to listen to the bahaga of people talking about, like, you know, what it's like down here. I've never felt safer. In fact,
it's just, you know, overall, I think everyone's very well prepared. FPL is amazing. Florida Power Light Company, our electric service provider, phenomenal. They were very fast, very good. All right. And everyone was so nice, kind, and loving. But it's also frightening, you know, when the insurance company tells you on the phone, like, oh, you know, we may not be able to insure much longer. You know, if this happens again, it's like, ooh, you know, frightening, terrifying. But again, I choose not to live in that low vibration of fear energy, which is why I'm not really aligning to it anymore. So kind of just letting life flow and see what happens, I think, is the best approach. But yeah, just vlogging my thoughts out, I think, journaling it out, because it was still stressful. Like, I cried even before it hit, like when they said that we were going to get at least 75-mile-an-hour winds. I was like, oh my God, not again. I was just like in the bath crying, and like, you're supposed to be in that bath enjoying your time, Tony, and you'd be crying in there. And, oh my God, I'm just such a sensitive crybaby. But anyway, I don't think you're ever too old to have a good cry. I'm turning 29 this month. Maybe I am getting too old. But anyway, the last year of my 20s. Just reflecting, looking back. You guys know I like to make these vlogs so I can look back on them years from now and be like, oh, that happened. That was cute then. You know, it's not a concern anymore, but it's like, wow, you know, that was a story of your life. And, you know, it's amazing we can have these, because it takes so long to write a journal. Why not vlog it, you know? So I encourage everyone to start vlogging their thoughts out, you know. And I keep things private, of course, because this is a public platform. But it's nice to just kind of filter whatever you've been going through so you don't keep that stuff and hold on to that, you know. But yeah. Let me think. Oh yeah. That's all I think I wanted to say for one vlog. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I will see you next time.